Welcome back to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel. My name is Chris and I'm here to bring you guys the high-rev perspective.
And my name is Josh and I will be bringing the low-rev perspective.
Today we're going to be throwing 10 shots with the brand new Ebonite Entity Pearl, and I'm going to be comparing that to the Roto-Grip Gremlin and the Track Paragon Shadow.
And I'll be comparing it to the Severe Collision and the One Ovation. These comparisons will give us and you an idea of what these pieces look like going down the lane. At the end, we will give our honest, unbiased review anywhere from nuts to trash. With that being said, we are here at Bolero Mesa on a fresh house shot, so make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you out on the lanes.
Just wrapped up throwing the Entity Pearl, and my gosh, is this one sharp. I feel like the original Entity was kind of on the sharper end of a strong and smooth ball, and this one just exaggerates that one to the max. I felt like here at Bolero Mesa, it was pretty uncontrollable how sharp it was off the friction. There were definitely a couple where I absolutely had to move left because if I got it too early to the friction, it was just so sharp and uncontrollable that I couldn't get it to stay on the right side of the head pin. There were a couple where I got a little forward and it kind of Swisher 7, Plaque 10, so it was kind of like in between where I kind of wanted it to be like off my hand, but overall it was pretty uncontrollable asymmetric pearl. So now I'm going to go ahead and compare that to the Paragon Shadow. All right, I see the Paragon Shadow as a step up from the Entity Pearl, something that I would go to more on fresh because the Entity is definitely wanted to be down lane and off spot. The Paragon Shadow is a lot smoother, definitely gets off spot and goes through the pins pretty well, but compared to the Entity Pearl, it's quite a bit earlier and slower shape overall. So now I'm gonna go and compare that to the Roto-Grip Gremlin. All right, now I see the Gremlin as a step down from the Entity Pearl. It's definitely a weak and sharp shape, but this one I definitely need to be slower with my ball speed and closer to the friction to really get it off spot. I feel like this one has slowly gotten less and less friction response the more you throw it. Felt like I really needed to be patient with it and be slow to get it to come around the corner. Compared to the Entity you just wanted to see it and keep going. This one needed to be a little bit more patient with it. Final thoughts on the Entity Pearl. Like I said earlier, this one hooked way more than I was anticipating it to the point where, again, I felt like it was almost uncontrollable. To me, I feel like I would have to touch this with a little bit of surface and even throw this on patterns with a little bit more volume, just because I feel like if it sees too much friction, it goes and it goes a lot. So for me, the uncontrollability is going to put this one in the meh category. I just wasn't really a fan of how perfect I had to be and how uncontrollable it was.
Just through 10 shots with the new Entity Pearl. This ball for me was a little cleaner than I anticipated it to be. It definitely got further down the lane and created a lot more down lane angle than as expected, in my opinion. I did feel like it was a little cleaner in the sense of kind of like a combat or a vaporize, something that is meant to kind of, even though it's still an asymmetrical ball, it definitely is meant to shape down lane and be a ball on burn when you need to kind of open up the angles and send it to a friction spot. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with this Deviate Severe Collision and see how it compares. Just wrapped up throwing shots with the Severe Collision. This ball for me was definitely a step up, definitely shaped a lot earlier and was more forward of a shape. I would say this is kind of that step up ball, so where once this starts to go, the Entity would be the ball I would go to. It would conserve and store a little bit more energy for down lane and shape a little bit better going through the pins. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the One Ovation and see how it compares. Just threw 5 shots with the one ovation. This ball for me felt like it was in a closer category with the Entity, but I did feel like it was just a smidge earlier. But again, for me, I would say I really only need one of these in the bag, as I think they are a little too close to have both in the bag. I would say that if you put surface on the Entity, kept the one ovation shiny, they'd probably almost do the exact same thing. But again, in my point of view, I do think that the one is just a little bit more trusty just because it does hook a little earlier. In my opinion, I feel like it's shaped a little bit nicer. Final thoughts on the Entity Pearl. For me today, like I said, I was expecting this one to hook a little earlier, and I just felt like it was a little cleaner than I anticipated, a little whippier off friction. For me, I didn't love that just because I felt like it wasn't blending the lane out. And because of that, I am gonna have to rate this one a meh. Like I said, I just felt like there's other balls currently out on the market that do the same thing but better, and I felt like this one could have blended that cliff just a little nicer.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.